Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. We are all faced with a series of great opportunities brilliantly disguised as impossible situations. I cannot even imagine where I would be today were it not for that handful of friends who have given me a heart full of joy. Let's face it, friends make life a lot more fun. Each day of our lives we make deposits in the memory banks of our children. The remarkable thing is, we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. The difference between something good and something great is attention to detail. Attitude is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than what people do or say. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. A teardrop on earth summons the King of Heaven. Words can never adequately convey the incredible impact of our attitudes toward life. The longer I live, the more convinced I become that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. A family is a place where principles are hammered and honed on the anvil of everyday living. The secret of living a life of excellence is merely a matter of thinking thoughts of excellence. Really, it's a matter of programming our minds with the kind of information that will set us free. We can't solve modern problems by going back in time. Retreating to the safety of the familiar is an understandable response, but God has called us to a life of faith. And faith requires us to face the unknown while trusting Him completely. Prejudice is a learned trait. You're not born prejudiced, you're taught it. We need discernment in what we see and what we hear and what we believe. The world has changed and it's going to keep changing, but God never changes, so we are safe when we cling to Him. There is nothing more fearful for the average person in our society than to stand before a group of people and speak. I know of nothing more valuable, when it comes to the all-important virtue of authenticity, than simply being who you are. The swift wind of compromise is a lot more devastating than the sudden jolt of misfortune. I let people see the cracks in my life. We can't be phony. We've got to keep it real. Because God gave you your makeup and superintended every moment of your past, including all the hardship, pain, and struggles, He wants to use your words in a unique manner. No one else can speak through your vocal cords, and, equally important, no one else has your story. When you have a sense of calling, whether it's to be a musician, soloist, artist, in one of the technical fields, or a plumber, there is something deep and enriching when you realize it isn't just a casual choice, it's a divine calling. It's not limited to vocational Christian service by any means. You and I are, by birth, by nature, and by choice, inwardly depraved, which is to say that we are entirely corrupt. That's not to say that we have no good in us, we do. However, anything good in us has been tainted with evil. It touches everything. Without the redeeming power of Christ we cannot halt our own moral slide. The wonderful thing about God is He knows what we need to persuade us. Nothing is more bothersome to me than retiring. Weird things happen when you disengage. First you get negative, then you start telling people about your latest surgeries, and eventually you lose touch. I want to stay in touch. I'm not against screens, or new songs, or innovation. I just don't like the gimmicks. I want to know when worship is over that leader's sole purpose was to glorify the Lord Jesus Christ. When you have vision, it affects your attitude. Your attitude is optimistic rather than pessimistic. One of the worst things you can give to your people is someone you're not. I'm here today to warn you. I want you to watch out for the adversary. Guard yourself from any spirit of entitlement. Restrain any and all subtle temptation to gain attention or to find ways to promote yourself. I am often the brunt of my own humor.